Before I start, let me warn you. The forest in this story doesn't just scare you, chooses you. Watch till the end, if you can. Ali, a 22-year-old university student, tall, quiet, and usually calm. He likes to pretend he's brave, especially around his friends, but deep inside he has one secret fear: complete darkness. Even as a child he hated walking in unlit places, yet he always hid this fear behind a confident smile. Tonight, Ali and his close friend Samar are riding a motorbike through an old forest road. It's past midnight, the hour when the sky looks darker than usual, and the forest seems to breathe on its own. The trees on both sides are tall and crooked, leaning over the narrow road like silent watchers. Their branches twist together, forming shapes that look disturbingly human in the dim light. Ali sits behind Samar, holding the side of the seat, his eyes scanning the trees. The cold air stings his face, but it isn't the cold that makes him uncomfortable. It's the strange, suffocating silence. Not a single insect, not a bird, not even the rustle of leaves. A forest at night should be alive with sounds. But here, everything feels frozen. Samar tries to act normal, humming a tune, but Ali notices how stiff his shoulders are. Why is it so quiet? Ali finally whispers, though he already feels the answer in his bones. He keeps turning his head left and right, sensing something just beyond the tree line. Presence. A gaze. As if the darkness itself is following them, walking beside the bike, waiting. Ali forces himself to breathe slowly. Maybe it's nothing, he tells himself. Maybe I'm overthinking. But then the bike's headlight flickers once, and Ali feels an icy shiver crawl up his spine, warning him that something inside this forest is awake and watching. Samar keeps the motorbike steady, but an odd tension hangs in the atmosphere, thick enough to feel on the skin. The night sky above them looks strangely pale, as if the moon is hiding behind something heavy. The trees become more dense, forming a long tunnel-like stretch of road. Samar tries to distract himself by checking the mirror again and again, but each glance only makes him more uncomfortable. Suddenly, a low vibration spreads through the air, not from the engine, but from somewhere deep within the wilderness. It feels like a tremor of sound, a kind of rumble carried by the wind. Samar unknowingly tightens his grip on the handle, and his breath becomes shaky. The expression on his face reveals something he doesn't want to admit. There's a disturbance nearby. Then, without any warning, a chilling cry erupts from the heart of the forest. The sound stretches unnaturally long, echoing as if the entire jungle is amplifying it. It is neither a wolf's howl nor a human shout. The something else, something that shouldn't exist. A voice made of hunger, rage, and primal dominance. Samar slams the brakes instinctively, his heartbeat pounding against his ribs. The motorbike skids slightly on the rough road, and dust rises around them. The eerie wail continues for a few seconds before fading into silence, leaving behind an even stronger sense of dread. The wind shifts direction, carrying a strange, metallic smell, almost like rust, but sharper. Samar realizes it's the scent of blood, fresh and close. He leans forward, listening carefully, but all that remains is a faint whisper of movement between distant leaves. Whatever made that horrifying sound isn't far, and it's headed their way. A faint breeze brushes across the road, carrying with it a strange dryness as if the air itself has been drained of life. Ali slowly raises the flashlight in his trembling hand, aiming it toward the dense vegetation bordering the narrow path. The beam of light cuts through the darkness but reveals nothing at first. Only tangled roots, wild bushes, and patches of uneven ground. Just as Ali lowers the light, something shifts deep within the thicket. A soft rustle, quick, deliberate. He snaps the flashlight back up, and this time the light catches a reflection. Not one, but two luminous orbs hover among the leaves. They don't blink. They don't move. They simply stare, unbroken and unsettling, like emotionless lanterns floating in the gloom. Ali feels his pulse thundering in his ears as he steps backward, instinctively shielding himself behind Samar. The glowing orbs tilt slightly, tracking their movement with cold precision. Their brightness intensifies for a moment, giving off a faint golden shimmer that seems unnatural for any known creature. The silence around them deepens as if the forest is holding its breath. Samar's voice barely escapes his throat, more a gasp than a word, when the eyes begin to drift forward. Not walking, not stepping, but gliding through the shadows, hidden behind layers of brush. The bushes part with a soft crackle, hinting at something massive pushing its way through. Ali tightens his grip on the flashlight. The beam shakes uncontrollably, scattering across the shrubs. The eyes advance further, growing larger, revealing how tall the unseen figure must be. A low, guttural vibration rolls out of the darkness, not loud but powerful enough to make the ground lightly tremble beneath their feet. Before either of them can react, the glowing orbs rise higher, far higher than any animal should, staring down at them from an impossible height. Something is coming out. An uneasy stillness spreads across the forest as both friends stand frozen, staring into the thick wall of shadows ahead. The faint moonlight barely slips through the towering branches above, creating broken patches of pale light on the ground. Each second drags heavily, filled with a tension that feels almost suffocating. Ali's breathing grows shallow, while Samar's hands tremble against the bike's handle. From somewhere deep inside the foliage, a heavy thud echoes, slow, deliberate, and far too forceful to belong to a normal animal. Another thud follows, accompanied by the snapping of thick branches, as though something enormous is pushing its way toward the open road. The bushes tremble violently, leaves shaking loose and drifting to the ground like falling ash. A silhouette gradually forms within the darkness. At first, the outline resembles a towering figure hunched forward. But as it steps closer, the distorted shape becomes clearer. A massive form breaks through the undergrowth, rising higher than any human. Muscular limbs covered with coarse, matted fur catch the faint moonlight. Broad shoulders shift with each movement, producing a deep, grinding sound, like bones scraping against each other. The creature's head lifts, revealing a long snout lined with jagged edges. Hot steam bursts from its nostrils, rising into the cold night like smoke from a furnace. Its claws, curved and metallic in the dim glow, dig into the soil with slow, crushing force. The beast pauses, studying the two frightened figures before it with sharp, predatory focus. A low rumble escapes its chest, vibrating through the ground in a steady pulse. The creature slightly tilts its head, as if recognizing the fear radiating from its new targets. Then, without warning, it straightens its posture, revealing its full, terrifying height. The monster stands before them, fully exposed. A sudden rush of panic overtakes Samar as the creature's towering presence looms close. His first instinct is to flee, and he frantically reaches for the ignition. His fingers shake violently as he fumbles with the key, trying to twist it into place. The forest seems to shrink around them, every sound swallowed by the creature's heavy, rhythmic breaths. Ali, standing a few steps back, watches with widening eyes as Samar struggles with the motorbike. The dim headlight flickers weakly, casting distorted shadows across the uneven ground. Each flicker seems to reveal a new detail of the beast waiting nearby, its cold gaze locked on their every movement. Samar finally forces the key forward, but the engine responds with an unsettling cough, a sputter, then silence. "No, come on, come on," he whispers under his breath, twisting the key again. The motorbike jerks slightly but refuses to start. The quiet failure feels louder than a scream. Ali edges closer, whispering desperately, urging him to try again. Samar presses the starter with more force, but the machine only produces a dull click, as if drained of life. Sweat drips down his forehead despite the cold surrounding them. He tries once more, another weak churn, followed by silence thick enough to choke. A faint vibration ripples through the ground, signaling that the creature has shifted its weight. Ali glances upward to see the beast slowly leaning forward, its posture suggesting curiosity mixed with hunger. The dim light catches the outline of its claws as they drag across the dirt, carving shallow grooves into the ground. Samar kicks the bike in frustration, The sound echoes sharply through the empty night. The creature reacts instantly, lifting its head slightly, intrigued by the sudden motion. The machine remains dead, and time is running out. A cold shiver runs through the night as the creature shifts its stance, lowering its massive body in a predatory crouch. The air becomes heavy, almost pressurized, as if the forest itself senses what is about to happen. Ollie can feel the weight of the creature's intent. It radiates from the beast like an invisible wave, tightening the space around them. Samar steps away from the useless bike, his legs unsteady, a tremor moving through him that he can't hide. He lifts his eyes toward the beast, and the creature's dark pupils flare with a sharp, animal intelligence. There is no hesitation in its posture anymore. Its focus is clear, and its target has been chosen. Without a warning sound, the monster launches forward. The movement is fast, far faster than anything its enormous size should allow. The ground shudders from the force of its push-off, scattering loose dirt into the air. A blur of limbs and fur cuts through the darkness like a living bolt of shadow. Ollie barely perceives the motion. All he sees is a sudden streak rushing toward them. Samar stumbles backward, instinctively raising his arms to shield himself. The creature extends one massive arm, the claws sweeping forward in a deadly arc. The swipe grazes a nearby tree trunk, ripping a deep, jagged mark into the wood. Splinters burst outward, spraying across the ground. Ollie jerks sideways, his body reacting before his mind can catch up. His heartbeat roars in his ears as he narrowly avoids being caught in the creature's initial strike. The beast lands with a heavy thud, turning sharply to face them again, its breath steaming in the cold night. Samar scrambles across the dirt, trying to push himself up with shaking hands. The creature emits a deep, resonant growl, a sound filled with hunger and frustration at having missed. The attack isn't over. It has only begun. A tense silence settles over the clearing after the creature's last lunge, broken only by the faint creak of branches swaying overhead. Ollie forces himself to steady his breathing, his chest tightening with each inhale. The monster has paused its assault, but the pause feels intentional, like a predator taking a moment to assess how much resistance its prey has left. Samar drags himself behind a fallen log, using it as the only shield he can find. His fingers dig into the damp soil, searching for something to hold on to, something to anchor him through the terror coursing through his body. The faint glow of moonlight reflects off his terrified eyes as he watches the creature slowly pivot toward him. The beast straightens its posture, towering like a dark monument carved out of nightmares. Its silhouette dominates the entire stretch of road, casting a long shadow that crawls across the ground until it touches Samar's feet. The creature's chest rises and falls with a deep, rhythmic pulse, each exhale creating a thin mist in the cold night. Ollie inches sideways, trying to draw the creature's attention away from his friend. Pebbles crunch softly beneath his shoes, the sound barely audible, but the monster's ears twitch toward him instantly. Its head turns, revealing a distorted snarl etched across its elongated jaw. It lowers itself slightly, preparing for another charge. The temperature drops unnaturally, and a strange tension hums through the air, as though the world is bracing for impact. Ollie's mind races, searching for anything. An escape route, a weapon, a distraction. But the forest around them offers nothing but darkness and broken paths. The creature plants one foot forward, its claws sinking deep into the earth. Ollie feels his heartbeat freeze for a moment. The beast is choosing who to strike first. And then, it moves,